the subscribe button if you don't want me to come annoy.
Have you ever pondered about the power of the written word, the ability to curse or bless through ink and paper? Tucked away in a labyrinthine alley of a teeming city lies a bookstore of peculiar charm. This is no ordinary bookstore, mind you. It's a sanctuary for bibliophiles, a haven for those who find solace in the rustle of pages and the scent of ink. The shelves are laden with an assortment of books so unique and rare they could make a seasoned book collector's heart flutter with excitement. Every corner of this bookstore whispers tales of the old and forgotten, the bizarre and the mysterious. Its charm is not just in its collection, but also the rumors that swirl around it, rumors that tiptoe on the edge of the supernatural. They say, hidden amongst the rows of dusty tomes, there exists a book unlike any other. A book that doesn't just tell a story, but brings it to life. A book that doesn't just create characters, but conjures them into existence. This is no ordinary book, they whisper. It's a cursed tome, bound not just with leather and thread, but with magic dark and ancient. It's said that whoever dares to read this book doesn't just experience the story, but becomes a part of it. Their life becomes intertwined with the narrative, their fate sealed with every turn of the page. The owner of the bookstore, a man of few words but many secrets, neither confirms nor denies these rumors. He simply watches the customers, his eyes twinkling with an unspoken knowledge. Perhaps he knows the truth. Perhaps he's seen the power of the cursed book. Or perhaps he's just a storyteller spinning tales as captivating as the books he sells. In this seemingly ordinary bookstore, a sinister secret awaits an unsuspecting reader. Among the dusty shelves and dimly lit corners, a book sits, radiating an eerie aura. It doesn't belong, not truly. It's a discordant note in the symphony of literature that surrounds it. This book, the Cursed Tome, is a peculiar artifact. Its cover is a mottled, leathery thing, the color of dried blood and just as unsettling. Strange symbols, foreign to even the most learned of linguists, are etched into its surface. They seem to shift and swirl as if alive, dancing to a rhythm only they can hear. The book's pages are a sickly yellow, brittle with age, and they rustle with an echo of forgotten whispers. It's cold, unnaturally so. A frosty chill clings to it, seeping into your skin as soon as you dare to touch it, like a winter's night creeping into your bones. Over the years, the Cursed Tome has been the star of many a hushed conversation and whispered rumor. Stories of its curse are shared in the shadows, tales of misfortune and woe that befall those who dare to read its cryptic pages. Some speak of a man who, after reading the book, was plagued by a string of accidents so improbable they could only be the work of some malevolent force. Another tale recalls a woman who, upon reciting a passage aloud, was beset by a relentless storm that followed her wherever she went, a deluge that ceased only when she returned the book. These are not just stories. They are warnings, cautionary tales whispered by those who have seen the darkness that lurks within the Cursed Tome. They tell us that this is no ordinary book. It is a Pandora's box of unseen horrors, a silent summoner of malevolent entities. And so our unwitting protagonist, drawn by curiosity, picks up the book, oblivious to the nightmare that awaits. A cold shiver runs down their spine as their fingers brush against the leathery cover. But it's too late. The dance has begun, and the music is a symphony of screams. The first word read, the first page turned, and the curse is unleashed. With the rustling sound of the old parchment, the protagonist ventures into the unknown, embarking on a chilling journey through the Cursed Tome. There's an unsettling calmness, a silence that's eerier than the most deafening screams. As he dives deeper into the cryptic text, reality begins to warp around him. The lights flicker as if dancing to a tune only they can hear, casting long, grotesque shadows that seem to play tricks on the eyes, shadows that twist and turn, taking the form of unthinkable horrors. It's as if the very fabric of reality is slowly being torn asunder, replaced by an otherworldly darkness that hungers for the light. Then come the whispers, distant and yet so close, like an intimate conversation heard from afar. They weave through the air, their ghostly voices intertwining with the protagonist's thoughts. They speak in a language unknown and yet somehow familiar, their words seeping into his mind like a poison, tainting his thoughts with an unshakable dread. Objects around him move on their own accord. A book slides off a table, a chair tilts back, a cup shatters on the floor. Each movement, each sound is a symphony of terror, an orchestra conducted by unseen hands. It's as if the very walls of the bookstore are alive, pulsating with an ancient energy that's both terrifying and mesmerizing. As he reads on, the protagonist feels an icy chill creep up his spine, a chill that seems to seep into his very soul. With each word, each sentence, the chill grows, morphing into an all-consuming fear that threatens to swallow him whole. He wants to stop, to close the book and run, but the cursed tome has him in its grasp, pulling him deeper into its terrifying narrative. And as the final word of the chapter echoes in his mind, a chilling realization dawns: the curse is real. The protagonist is no longer a mere spectator. He's become a character in this tale of horror, a pawn in the malevolent entity's deadly game. The cursed bookstore's secret has been revealed, and there's no turning back. What happens when your worst nightmares come alive? Imagine a world where your deepest fears aren't confined to the realm of dreams, but instead, they seep into your waking life, becoming a horrifying reality. This is the chilling predicament our protagonist finds himself in as the cursed book unleashes malevolent entities into his life. With the turn of each page, the protagonist unknowingly invites a new terror into his existence. Not specters or ghouls as one might expect, but rather a darker, more personal horror. His nightmares, those fears that lurk in the subconscious, materialize in his everyday life. Each day he wakes to a fresh horror. A haunting vision as vivid as it is terrifying greets him in the mirror. His reflection is not his own, but the distorted image of a faceless figure, its menacing grin stretching wider with each passing second. The protagonist, once a man of rational thought, finds himself questioning his sanity, the lines between reality and illusion becoming increasingly blurred. The silence of his home is broken by the cacophony of whispers. The words are unintelligible, but the intent is clear. These are not friendly spirits. Each syllable drips with malice, the voices growing louder, more insistent, as if clawing at the very fabric of his mind. The sense of dread that follows him is palpable. It's the chill that creeps up your spine when you know you're being watched, the uneasy feeling of 1,000 eyes upon you, even in the solitude of an empty room. It's a constant reminder of the entities that now share his world, their presence a lingering menace. As the days turn into weeks, the terror escalates. The visions become more grotesque, the whispers more threatening, the dread more oppressive. The protagonist finds himself spiraling into a vortex of fear and despair, the malevolent entities from the book feeding off his terror, growing stronger with each passing day. With each passing day, the terror escalates, spiraling the reader into a vortex of fear and despair. Every curse has a solution, a way to break it, but at what cost? Our protagonist finds himself in a dark and twisted game of survival, a game he never asked to play. The cursed book had turned his life into a living nightmare, with malevolent entities lurking in the shadows, his reality now a horror story come to life. But he was not one to back down, not when his sanity and life were at stake. In his desperate attempt to reverse the curse, he sought help from every corner. From the dusty libraries of ancient scholars to the eerie chambers of occult practitioners, he was on a relentless quest for a solution. His days and nights merged into a continuous cycle of research, rituals, and relentless terror. He delved into the darkest corners of arcane knowledge, his hands trembling as he turned the fragile pages of forbidden manuscripts. He performed intricate rituals under the pale glow of the moon, his voice echoing in the stillness as he recited incantations of power and protection. He faced his fears head-on, standing strong against the malevolent entities. He was taunted by haunting whispers and chilling apparitions, but he persevered. Each encounter, each terrifying face-off only strengthened his resolve to take back control of his life. Yet the more he fought, the deeper he seemed to sink into the curse's clutches. The entities became more aggressive, the hauntings more frequent. Just when he was starting to lose hope, a glimmer appeared in the darkness. A potential solution, a way to break the curse. His heart pounded with a mix of fear and hope as he prepared to take the final plunge. Just when he thinks he's found the solution, a chilling voice whispers in his ear, "The game has just begun." The very words sent shivers down his spine, freezing his blood, but he was far from ready to surrender. The fight for survival was far from over, and he was ready to confront whatever horrors awaited him.
Hit the subscribe button if you don't want me to come at night.